Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning into another Kamen Rider review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Saber, Brave Dragon. Let's jump in. And here we have our Kamen Rider Saber. Now, the sculpt and overall look of this guy is just beautiful. But I will say right off the rip, I did not like the show. Again, the show itself was really not it for me. The intro was amazing, great song. The Kenzan fight with that OST playing, also amazing. And the final film, banger. Main series, not it. But I still went ahead and picked up the figure, at least for the main rider. You just got to do that. At least that's how I do it. But yeah, jumping into the articulation, our guy can look up quite a bit as well as down. Very nice rotation. You just have to be careful. As you can see, asymmetrical sculpt, very dope, but got a lot of sharp pointy ends, and they're gonna bump into each other and rub off and potentially snap. Compound eyes, awesome. Yellow going to orange into red on the flames. Sword very nicely sculpted right here on the head point, and the collar doesn't get in the way, which is a plus. Arms, they can both go up just fine. Just got to be careful. Again, with this shoulder pad, the dragon head, it will hit the head sculpt. And the shoulders themselves, the pads are on hinges, so you're able to move them around a-okay. Very nice jewel right there in the eye. He will have a bicep swivel, as well as double jointed elbows, and hands are on ball pegs. He's going to have a ball joint right here at the upper portion of the chest, as well as one down at the waist, allowing him to dip backwards quite nicely. Forwards as well. You got to finesse it when you're doing it forwards, just because the sculpt right here in the chest and stomach areas, they are going to rub up against each other and kind of get in the way. But for the most part, he's got it on lock. Belt is a floating piece. Very cool sculpt work. But I will say, when it comes to the Wonder Ride books, they did this guy dirty. So out of the package, this does not have these stickers on here. These were purchased from a third party. I believe it was SHF Upgrade several years ago. And I couldn't stand just looking at this just being black and blank. This needed to be here. Unfortunately, they cut costs and those stickers were not in place. The backside of the book, or the cover, let's put it that way, since this is actually opened, does have little sticker placement right there. But again, this otherwise would have been blank. And the belt itself has two little slots right there, so this one you can actually port right here, and then if you collect some of the other figures, you could put the other ones onto the other slot as if he is using them as well. So that is pretty cool. This portion right here, little side flap, is made of a, it's hard but not super hard, and soft but not super soft. It's like in the middle, so it can, it's a little bit flexible and doesn't really get in the way, which is nice, especially with how they tucked it into the waist area. So you're able to maneuver it out of the way, as you can see, and swivel it around, so that's pretty cool. But I think it would have been so much nicer if it was just a bit softer. His legs, he can kick forwards and backwards, no problem. They do have a thigh cut, double jointed knees, ankle rocker, kind of stiff, and toe hinge. And I will point out, there's a lot of paint rubbing going on right here. When you tuck them in, like, it just, as you can see, it's just really going at it. And yeah, unfortunately enough, when you have this guy posed up, it's gonna beat him up and leave some indentations, so don't be surprised. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the figure itself. Again, he is very cool. He also had two releases after the base one, with the standard one, which is this one. He had a clear red version and a metallic version as well. But I think base form, base version, looks good. So when it comes to the rest of the accessories, he's going to have a total of 4 pairs of hands. Number 1 being the fists that he comes with out of the package. Number 2, he will have a pair of action fighting hands. There's that. Here's the right hand, the orange. You'll have a pair of open splayed hands right here, and a pair of sword holding hands. And speaking of hands, this brings me to my next gripe with the figures. Just as you can see, every time you want to swap hands out, you have to take off the little guards on them, and I really don't like that. I feel like you're gonna misplace that, or the tabs themselves will break over time, and it's just gonna suck if that happens. Luckily enough, I mean, when I mess around with my figures, I'm super careful not to misplace or break anything, but man, you know, accidents happen. Something's bound to go down. And the last accessory that you have is his sword, the Rekka blade. Very cool sculpt. Translucent red, so you're able to see the innards of the blade itself. Hits of gold right here to resemble the helmet as well. Very cool blade. And for a quick size comparison, we're gonna go ahead and bring in our very first Reiwa rider, being 01. We're also going to bring in Kamen Rider Gotchard. And here we have Revice. And our newest rider from the Reiwa series, we have Kamen Rider Gov. If I can get him to stand up right here. But yeah, they are all looking very, very nice. And even though this was not my favorite series of Kamen Rider, I still recommend them. And with that, let's finish this up. So the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Saber is a pretty nice general release for a Reiwa figure. I really do like the overall sculpt of this guy. It's asymmetrical, it looks pretty fierce. Unfortunately for me, I just didn't like the series, so I only copped this one guy and that was it. But in regards to the other figures in the line, they all look very, very cool, swordsman-like, and they will all pair up nicely. The one thing that I really just couldn't stand on this guy when I first pulled him out of the package was the fact that the little book on his belt for transforming, it was lacking the image on there, so I had to buy a separate sticker sheet to complete the look and make it look whole. And that was kind of annoying to have to go ahead and do, especially since, again, I didn't buy any of the other figures in this series, so I had to purchase a whole sticker sheet just for, well, the one set for this guy. But nonetheless, I do recommend them, especially if you're a fan of just Kamen Rider in general. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Check out my Instagram at gojiboy93, where you're going to find photos of this guy as well as many other Kamen Rider figures. Until next time, guys, peace.